You won't manifest until you stop caring, even about your family. There are 4 levels of consciousness that we need to discuss in this video. And by the end, you're going to understand why you need to jump into or step into a different state of consciousness or awareness. And that is going to allow you to realize how caring actually holds people back. I might go a little bit further and say that you're going to be applying long-term selflessness. Sounds crazy. I will explain in just a moment. But by doing what I'm about to share with you, I've been able to manifest great success for myself, but also for my clients and students. I've been able to travel all over the world and help many people transform their lives.
I received $125,000 in unexpected money,
including celebrity clients like Clark Kegley and Levin Rambin. So the way that I'm talking about caring about your family and your friends is caring about how you are perceived in their eyes, how you are subconsciously caring about what they think of you. Okay, there are 3 subconscious beliefs. Only 3. What I mean by that, 3 root causes for negative subconscious beliefs. Okay, that is, I'm not enough, what do people think of me, and fear of your own death, fear of being hurt, fear of pain or feeling pain, right? And those are the only big beliefs, okay? I've done so many sessions, thousands and thousands of hours of one-on-one sessions and group coaching sessions, and they all lead to the same root. And one of the biggest blocks that we all have is, what do people think of me? And so let me explain the 4 levels of consciousness so you can begin transcending this on a subconscious level and begin manifesting more money, more success in your life, and not allowing the internal resistance or subconscious resistance to hold you back from co-creating your reality. So the 4 levels of consciousness are egocentric, ethnocentric, world-centric, and spirit-centric. And egocentric people are people who only care about themselves, right? These are the megalomaniacs of the world, the narcissists, the sociopaths, the psychopaths. They can only see and perceive their own reality. Usually they don't have much empathy and they operate with very little guilt or shame about themselves. These people are usually very highly insecure and they perceived as confident in the world. Is what is looked at as confident in the world, but in actuality, their confidence is stemming from an underlying insecurity. They need to show up in a certain way in order for people not to see their deepest wounds. In other words, they've been wounded so much that they can't see how much pain they are experiencing, and they show up as narcissistic. Also, these people haven't learned to grow up. I know that sounds a little bit strange, but they've been taught to only care about themselves, and that can happen in 2 ways. They've been treated highly negative in their lives, and because of those negative experiences, they only care about themselves, or they've been treated too positive in life, where they've been given too much, spoiled. Right? And so now they only care about themselves because everybody's giving to them and they don't think about other people. And when they do think about other people and they're giving to charities and they need to let people know that they're giving to charity or whatever it is that they're doing, right? It's because it's about them. It's not about the actual giving to someone else. It's egocentric. It's about themselves. That's why we got to be careful on comparing ourselves to someone who shows up as confident, especially the extroverted type of confidence, the bravado, the showing up as a strong woman or a strong man and stuff like this. You know, sometimes underneath, these are the most insecure people that we experience in our reality. The next level of consciousness is where people have been taught to share, right? It's been taught to care, right? Caring about your friends, caring about your family. And this is what the video is about, right? Stop caring about your friends and your family, right? And so this level of consciousness, we are focused on the family dynamic. We are focused on our family, we're focused on our friends, we're focused on creating a family and having a home and stuff like this. We're stuck in the ethnocentric level of consciousness. And at this level, it's very sweet, very loving. And I'm not asking you to be different from this. I'm just saying that if you, oftentimes when you want to experience more, you have to step a little bit outside that level of consciousness, okay? And so ethnocentric is about the family and what your friends and family think of you. And so we're moving in the world-centric level of consciousness. You are focused on helping and supporting the world, not just your family, right? I've had so many sessions with so many different clients, and this is the most difficult thing that they struggle to do. Because if I do that new thing, it's different from my family. If I go for that new career, it's different from my family. Nobody in my family has never made that amount of money before, so what are they gonna think of me, right? It's like you're tied to all the generational belief systems curses or whatever you want to call it of the family, and so you get stuck in the paradigm. So you try to move forward but you get snapped back, try to move forward but you get snapped back, and it seems like you can't break free. This is because you have to completely step into being world-centric or even spirit-centric, right? That this is the way that you're moving forward. On a subconscious level, moving into world-centric, you are leaving the family behind. I remember what it was like when I was first learning about the law of attraction. I wanted to share it with everybody. I wanted to show everyone. I wanted to be as ethnocentric as possible. I wanted people to know about it. I wanted people to think positive. I wanted people to transform their lives. It was so inspiring to me. But guess what? Most of them didn't listen. Most of them wasn't, into it. They was like, this is boring. I don't care about it. This is woo-woo or whatever, right? And even becoming vegan at the time, I became vegan, plant-based. And even doing this, it's like people were asking me, oh, can you eat rice? It's just like, as long as it doesn't have a face, right? Or I'm not eating from something that has a face, it's completely fine. But, you're asking me if I can eat rice and potatoes. It is what it is. And so there's a shift that happens when you are stepping away from the norm. You're doing something that's abnormal. You're doing something that's different. And so all the people that you know, like, and trust are going to have their opinions and thoughts and doubts on it. And even if they never even said anything to you about it, subconsciously, you're creating all of these narratives in your mind on what they could think of you if you do it. You haven't even done it yet. You haven't even pursued it yet for some people, right? And you're already thinking, what do these people think of me, right? What if this happens? What if that happens? What if I get to the money and then they start asking me for money? What if I don't know how to deal with the money and then I lose all the money and then they're going to think of me as a failure, right? I don't want to let my family down. I don't want to let my friends down and all of this stuff. There's so many narratives and belief systems and stories around leaving the tribe behind. And so there's a lot of these cords and ties between you and the family. And again, these might be things that you see consciously, but they are also very subconscious and primal as well. Okay, they are a part of our core. And we need to recognize that some people from a very early age, they've been taught to go out of the comfort zone, try new things, explore, and all of this stuff. And so I highly recommend that you have your kids explore and try new things and try new foods and experiment and stuff like this, so they get in touch with doing things that are outside the traditional way of doing things, right? So for me, it wasn't until I went to Thailand and I started to travel the world and I started to see how people operate in different parts of the world, and I got to explore new people, and I was hanging around with 6-figure earners, 7-figure earners, even up to the 8-figure level, and seeing how they think and just exposing myself to these different realities and realizing all of my conditioning and how it was holding me back. And so here's where the long-term selflessness comes in. You see, we often think on a subconscious level that it's selfish for me to go into world-centric. I'm doing something for me, right? But in actuality, if you totally dive into being world-centric and you are so-called leaving your friends and family behind, indirectly, you are helping them in so many ways. You're helping them in the way of sparking the inspiration within themselves to pursue their own thing as well. When you become world-centric and you stick to it, and you are giving value to the world in the way that you want to give it, sometimes it leads to more money. Sometimes it leads to you learning new things and experiencing new things, which you can contribute back to the tribe. Does that make sense? The ethnocentric level of consciousness. And you get to support them in ways that are direct and indirect. And it's really magical when you can do that. It's really powerful when you can do that. And so instead of seeing it as something selfish and that like I need to do something different, but it feels bad, I don't want to leave people behind or whatever it is, instead see it as long-term selflessness where, actually I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for the world. I'm doing this for my own internal transformation and growth and evolution. And I'm doing this because it just is, right? I'm doing this because, not because it's a big deal or something that is like, I'm gonna, manifest being a millionaire and create generational wealth, or, you don't want to put these things on a pedestal. It's just like, no, this is just what I do. I contribute to the world. I give, I create content, or I start the crystal business or the salon or the trading or whatever it is that you want to do. You start taking the steps towards that But from a state of isness, how would God operate at world-centric level of consciousness? What would God do? How would the universe see it? How would a higher power see it? And see it in that way. In a weird way, you want to take the importance away, okay? You want to remove the excess importance. You want to make the excess importance very little, like it's nothing, like it's neutral, like it's just is. Just like you work your job and you do the things that you do, you need to see starting your own business and going into world-centric level of consciousness as just is, not seeing it as a narrative of I'm leaving my friends and family behind and I feel blocked and I feel resistance and what do people think of me? So in other words, you got to stop caring. You got to stop caring about being different. You got to stop caring about being a right-brained person. You got to stop caring about being neurodivergent. You got to stop caring about the way that your brain works, the way that you operate, the things that you want to do for the world. You got to stop caring about all the consequences of what happens when you are pursuing world-centric. You got to stop caring about all the negative consequences about becoming world-centric level of consciousness. And so, yeah, when it comes to world-centric level of consciousness, usually, it requires starting some sort of business and doing something different and contributing in your own weird way. Just embrace the weirdness, embrace the differentness. Give yourself permission to live that life now. Give yourself permission fully, deeply, and completely that you are allowed to have that reality. And it's just a choice, just choosing. That is the reality and it's decided, right? That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Is your ego going to flare up and create all these beliefs and narratives about this? Like, well, what do people think of me? Yes, just allowing that to play out, allowing those voices, those narratives, what your mum said to you when you was younger, what your dad said to you when you was younger, what a bully said to you when you was younger, all of this stuff's going to come up to block you from becoming world-centric level of consciousness. All of that's going to resist your success. Why? Because that's the part of life, right? And it's the universe. This is my belief system, by the way. My opinion, my belief system. The universe is inviting you to heal that within. How do you heal that? Let those thoughts play. Let those emotions play. Focus on them in a weird way. Focus on them in terms of being in pure consciousness awareness. Allow them to play fully, deeply, completely. Do whatever they want, and then they will pass. They will transmute and they will dissolve into neutrality, back into the isness, and they will no longer affect you in the same way. This is a really powerful way to reprogram without reprogramming, without going into hypnosis and doing all this complicated stuff. Literally just being with your emotions and telling them to play like little kids in the playground. Do whatever you want. Negative, positive, intense emotion, shallow emotion, doesn't matter. Allowing those thoughts and emotions to play, allowing the resistance to play in your mind, in your chest, in your throat, whatever you're feeling, allow those emotions to play fully. As people who are more empathic and spiritual, we care even more. So it's even worse for us when it comes to moving from ethnocentric to world-centric. Right? But what we got to understand that it's long-term selflessness, right? You are creating freedom by practicing being aware of your emotions and thoughts and allowing them to play, because you're creating freedom within. And the world-centric level of consciousness, it might be scary, it might be different, it might be new, but that's your reptilian brain, that's your amygdala stopping you from moving forward because it's afraid of the unknowns. Let those narratives play out. Let those stories play out. Let those belief systems play out. See them, watch them, let them play. Let them do whatever they want. Focus on them, give them attention, but just be conscious awareness. Don't ask them to change. Don't ask them to be different. Just let them play and do whatever they want. So if you would like to continue this journey with me, I've created a 6-month transformational program to heal your heart, to get your heart working with your brain, to raise your core vibration, to rewire, reprogram and shift identities, and much, much more. Links in the description.